can I be what I ain't?
Number 10. Why Cant the English, My Fair Lady.
Condemned by every syllable she utters. By right, she should be taken out and hung for the cold-blooded murder of the English tongue.
The musical My Fair Lady drew criticism even in the 1950s for its dim view of women's rights, particularly the final scene, in which the rebellious heroine meekly fetches her husband's slippers. However, the most appalling number in the show isn't really that sexist. It's just generally repugnant. In Why Cant the English, our leading man dismisses birth and circumstance as irrelevant, claiming that it's only their speech mannerisms that keep the British lower class in poverty.
Why can't the English teach their children how to speak? This verbal class distinction by now should be antique. If you spoke as she does, sir, instead of the way you do, why, you might be selling flowers too.
He mocks not only his own countrymen, but the speech habits of people all over the world. The crowning moment of classism is when he says that a nearby woman should be killed for the cold-blooded murder of the English tongue.
But use proper English, you're regarded as a freak. Oh, why can't the English? Why can't the English learn to speak?
Number 9. Shapooi, the Music Man.
Now, a woman who kissed on the very first date is usually a hussy. And a woman who kissed on the second time out is anything but fussy.
If you saw this word and thought, what the heck is that? You're not alone. The title of this song from The Music Man is as nonsensical as the song itself. However, for a silly dance number sung by the comic relief character, it's surprisingly sexist. Shapooi, presumably the singer's ideal woman, is described as a girl who's hard to get.
Shapooi, Shapooi, Shapooi. The girl is hard to get. Shapooi, Shapooi, Shapooi. But you can't win her yet.
So the song begins by warning gentlemen that a woman who kisses a man on the first date is
usually a hussy,
and advises them to find one who waits to kiss until the third date. However, this bit of shaming is tame compared to later in the song, when the narrator advocates squeezing the woman when she isn't looking.
Squeeze her once when she isn't looking. Get a squeeze back, that's fancy cooking. Once more for a pepper up, but she will never get sore and away to supper. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, si, do, si, do.
Number 8. I Can't Say No, Oklahoma.
It ain't so much a question of not knowing what to do. I knowed what's right and wrong since I've been 10.
Oklahoma has several problematic moments, but this song is undoubtedly one of the worst. Instead of a man shaming women, in I Can't Say No, the woman conveniently shames herself. She enjoys romance and spending time with men, but constantly feels guilty about it, probably because the people in her community, our heroes, are judgmental and insular. When a man kisses her, she somehow sorta wants to kiss him back, and everyone present gasps in horror.
When a person tries to kiss a girl, I know she ought to give his face a smack, but as soon as someone kisses me, I somehow sorta wanna kiss him back.
The number is intended to be humorous, but there's a dark undertone. The character doesn't want to fall into the pit, and near the end, she says that by the time she wants to say no, it's too late. Whoa.
Then when I want to, I can't say no.
Number 7. This, Peter Pan.
When we get in trouble, there's just one thing to do. I'll just send for Tiger Lily. I just send for Peter Pan.
This is another title that makes you wonder, can that possibly be what it's called? Unfortunately, it is, and it's highly racist to boot. The song occurs in the musical Peter Pan just after Peter and Princess Tiger Lily declare eternal friendship, while smoking a peace pipe.
There's just one thing to do.
The gist of the song is that they agreed to help each other out, but sadly, the writers felt they had to pepper in imaginary words they thought sounded Native American. These mainly consist of nonsense syllables like ugh and wah. How do we know Tiger Lily and her followers were intended to be Native American, you may be thinking? Well, the fact that Peter Pan describes her skin as such is one clue. Number 6. I'm an Indian too. Annie, get your gun.
I sue, ooh, ooh, I sue, ooh, ooh.
You can probably guess where this is going. Thankfully cut from the 1999 revival of Annie Get Your Gun, this song features Annie Oakley being accepted into a Sioux tribe, which might be okay were it not for the cringingly awful attempts at humor. Along with the names of some actual Native American tribes and individuals, the song also includes gag names such as Hatchet Face and Running Nose.
Like the Chippewa, Iroquois, Omaha, like those Indians, I'm an Indian too. A Sioux, a Sioux.
Some might argue that it's meant to reflect on Annie's ignorance, not actual Native American culture, but since the Sioux characters in the show just sit there and take it, we think it's safe to recommend that this number be relegated to the dustbin of Broadway history.
I'm beat.
Number 5. Dance 10, Looks 3, a chorus line.
I swiped my dance card, and on a scale of 1 to 10, they gave me for dance 10, for looks 3. Well, dance 10 looks 3.
This charming little ode to plastic surgery is from A Chorus Line, a show about aspiring Broadway actors. It has an alternate title based on repeated words in the song, but let's just say we would need a mature rating to use it.
Bought myself a fancy pair, tightened up the derriere, did the nose with it, all that goes with it.
The character singing the number describes an audition where she scored high for dancing, but low for appearance. This made her decide to get surgically enhanced in certain places. After that, she apparently became far more desirable, both in acting and romance. While cynically speaking, the song may be realistic, but having this body-shaming message set to such bouncy, upbeat music is pretty jarring. Number 4. I Enjoy Being a Girl, Flower Drum Song.
I'm a girl, and by me that's only great. I am proud that my silhouette is curvy.
The 1958 musical Flower Drum Song tells the story of a Chinese-American man's struggles between culture and love, and there are some problematic Asian stereotypes. However, the offenses of I Enjoy Being a Girl are somewhat universal.
When men say I'm cute and funny, and my teeth aren't teeth but pearl, I just flap it up like honey. I enjoy being a girl.
A young female character gushes about how much she loves fancy clothing, makeup, and of course, young men. Specifically, a young man whose home she can take care of. It's hard to say which is worse, the writing or the message. The song is full of awkward phrasing and terrible rhymes like female and brave and free male, or hairdo and clouds on air do.
I'm strictly a female, and my future I hope will be in the home of a brave and a free male.
While the meaning has been reappropriated to have more of a feminist slant, the whole song basically says this is how girls should be, and if you're different, you're wrong.
Enjoy being a guy, having a girl like me.
Number 3. Summer Nights, Grease.
Summer loving had me a blast. I met a girl crazy for me.
Met a boy cute as can be.
The musical Grease is still popular after 50 years, but unfortunately, this number just doesn't hold up. Summer Nights starts off innocently enough, with 2 high school students describing how they got into a little romance over the break. However, just how much romance went on is somewhat unclear. According to the girl, they stayed out late and held hands. According to the boy, well, a lot more happened than that.
He got friendly, holding my hand.
Well, she got friendly down in the sand.
He was sweet, just turned 18.
just bragging to impress his friends, because from their questions, it's clear what they most care about.
Tell me more, chicken dairy farm.
Tell me more, like does he have a car?
And worse, kids, don't let your summer nights end in assault. Number 2, Sobbin' Women, 7 Brides for 7 Brothers.
Tell you about them sobbing women who lived in the Roman days. It seems that they all went swimming while their men was off to graze.
7 Brides for 7 Brothers is famous for its rampant misogyny, with song titles like A Woman Ought to Know Her Place and Bless Your Beautiful Hide. It's not hard to understand why.
Bless your beautiful hide, wherever you may be. We ain't met yet, but I'm a-willin' to bet you're the gal for me.
However, Sobbin' Women is beyond sexist. It's downright scary.
Oh yeah, them women were sobbing,
Passing them nights while the Romans was going out hobnobbing, starting up fights.
The character who sings it basically tells his version of the story of the abduction of the Sabine women. Yes, really. Except in this version, instead of the women only agreeing to marry their kidnappers to prevent a terrible war, the women are none too upset about being abducted. Quite the opposite, actually.
Oh, they acted angry and annoyed.
but secretly they was overjoyed.
And the worst part is, this song gives the brothers the idea to go out and kidnap a bunch of young women from their village.
And though there'll be a sobbing for a while, oh yes, we're gonna make them sobbing women smile.
Before we unveil our top pick, here are a couple of dishonorable mentions. Everybody Ought to Have a Maid. A funny thing happened on the way to the forum. By maid in this song, they mean young woman who's happy to pleasure older men whenever they want.
Everybody ought to have a maid. Someone who you hire when you're short of help, to offer you the sort of help you never get from a spouse.
Happy to keep his dinner warm. How to succeed in business without really trying. It sure is fun keeping house, making dinner, and being ignored by your husband, isn't it?
Happy to keep his dinner warm while he goes onward and upward. Happy to keep his dinner warm till he comes wearily home from downtown.
Number 1. Thank Heaven for Little Girls, Gigi.
Thank heaven for little girls. They grow up in the most delightful way.
Okay, this is a worrisome title, so let's start off by saying that this song was not originally intended to be creepy. Even now, if it were sung by a character who was, say, a new father, it might possibly work. However, as it is, it sounds wrong. Very wrong. The singer is an elderly man who has no children, but really admires young girls. Maybe a little too much.
Thank heaven for little girls. Thank heaven for them all, no matter where, no matter who.
And unfortunately, with lines like,
Each time I see a little girl of 5 or 6 or 7, I can't resist a joyous urge.
and
Those little eyes so helpless and appealing.
the song really makes him sound like a predator.
Thank heaven for little girls. What did I do?